Hi there. What a week, hey? Oh, well, 2 weeks actually. Um, it's phenomenal what's going on energetically around the world for all of us, particularly the UK. How's everyone doing? Um, Verpi, how are you? Are you better? And Francine, I know how your dear Gerhard is making it through all of his challenges with his heart and things. And welcome everybody. Hi, Beta and Mary Ann. And I'm going to scroll up, and Stefan I know is here, and Julie, Bruno. Hi, Bruno. Yvonne and Patricia. Kenny. Welcome, welcome. Denise. Yep. We're gathering. I'm good. I'm good. I've had a bit of a challenge with my eyes again. A bit of an infection, but it's gone. Thank goodness. It's always a bit something. Hi, Elizabeth. Where are you seeing him? I hear his new concert is quite something. He has such courage to bring forth challenges. Julie's, you're coming through loud and clear in Michigan. Cool. Your cough is almost over. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. What I want to talk about today is the shift from a queen energy. Hi, Tim. Welcome back. The shift from the queen passing over her, the energy that she held for 70 years. Goodness, quite incredible. And there are archetypes. Carl Jung talked a lot about archetypes within being human. And tonight I want to talk about the Queen and the King, because we are shifting over. And there's some really special qualities. You know how we were talking about the masculine and the feminine principle with the divine element of who we are that brings harmony? Well, this is another aspect of it. And I don't know if you know it or you've seen any of the movies about the Queen and her inauguration. Then there was a moment that she commits to being committed to the divine, and during that process they hid her so that it was a quiet self what would I say, initiation, so to speak, where the higher Christian priests, cardinals, archbishop, I can't remember who it was, but they anoint her with an oil, a special oil. And she said, yes, I'm going to commit to the path of what the royalty is supposed to follow, particularly the Queen energy. And what it is that they take on the task of being the intermediary between heaven and earth. And when you think about 70 years of how she held a particular viewpoint to guide, and that's what royalty are supposed to be doing. And that's what she did, very much so. And I have great positive feelings about King Charles coming in. He has done a very long time under her wing. And he has philosophies and ways of being relevant to ecology and racism and honoring people and working with humanity, his flock, so to speak, just like she did. And what will be interesting is that to have a masculine energy coming in, I think with his softness and his beliefs and everything, we need a king to be able to stand in the world. Hi Jenny, welcome. Hi Drew. And it'll be interesting. And then of course Prince Philip, the Prince of Wales, he's really interesting, and Kate. They have such a love and a wonderful family, and I feel really good about it. Did you know there are 4 billion people watched the funeral on Monday, pardon me. Maybe the whole weekend, but definitely on Monday. And it was incredible. And my favorite moment was when everyone was silent, and then the single bagpipe started to play up on the balcony. And it was like, whoa, it still moves me. It was so beautiful. And then he quietly walked away, and it got quieter. I was hoping to find somewhere on YouTube to hear it again. It's really, really beautiful. So what I want to do is go into a couple slideshows, just bringing up images of the quality of our Queen and images of the King that is now on the throne. So let me bring that up. And as we're looking at it, I will talk to you about the different qualities of the archetype of the Queen. Yes, Verby, she had a great sense of humor. So what's interesting about the Queen energy, which everybody can have within themselves, is that you stand as a woman, particularly, in the center of the still point of the turning world. So our Queen, Elizabeth, was, the more I reflect back on 70 years of the quality that she held, she did that. She held the sacred feminine of wholeness and purity and awareness and being alive and awake to the natural instinct, which the Queen energy stands for, being open enough to see all sides of things, but hold a particular viewpoint, a particular energy, so that you can find who you are. And by her example, she held on to that quality. She was that quality, and therefore we had 70 years of that example of a woman in power, devoted to the divine aspect of God on earth. And she didn't burn from holding that energy and being in the world of sometimes was quite chaotic. And the feminine energy, the princess or the Queen energy, realizes that no matter how awake we are, life will throw curves at us. And the challenge is to hold that. And she did that. She had a lot of challenges from Ireland, and even she had, 17 prime ministers. The change of parliament was incredible during that time. And I forgot how many presidents she saw in, but the main thing about the Queen energy is such a degree of devotion to the people. And she sacrificed a lot of her own personal feelings about things, and she held the viewpoint. So that's what I want to talk about with about the Queen archetype. Before we go on to the King archetype, I want to go back and see your messages. See what you are saying, because you've been busy while I was talking. Let me go back, scroll up. Hi Richard, glad you could make it. So let's see, Denise says, I'm not pro-monarchy or pro-republic, but the Queen, who wasn't meant to be, Edward VIII's abdication did that, this is true. She gave her life to the role, no retirement, no days off, no real privacy, and every action and word monitored and analyzed, and that has to be commended. She did what she committed herself to, and how many people can say they've done that? To something of looking for the balance in every situation and holding that viewpoint and her commitment to bringing God to the divine, the sacred, and not letting go of that. I know, Becky. The coffin is lead lined for various reasons, and those men were amazing, and their footwork, and the sailors, when they just all sort of went to the side in almost one movement, they were so good, so good. Erica said, I've been seeing people hang on to the Diana situation when it comes to Charles, and how he will do as king, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. Well, I've been watching the Crown series on Netflix again, and there's certain aspects in there, from talking about the abdication, about Princess Margaret and her love, and also at the time Prince Charles and Camilla, his love to her, and how they thought it was best for him to marry Prince Diana. Unfortunately, within her challenges, everyone loved her. What she did, she helped so everybody, and Prince Charles now has the love of his life back. So the main thing I find with what the Queen stood for is this aspect of holding the divine consciousness in our personalities. And she did that. Great example. And Verbi, she had a great sense of humor. I love the bit of the Bond movie and the oh goodness, where's my mind? Pooh Bear. It's incredible. Verbi says, I hope Charles will win people's hearts. I think he has improved very much lately in his popularity. It's impossible for him to become as popular as his mother, but I think he has become softer with age. I hope he'll do well. Well, I feel he's very committed, just like his mum. And I want to talk about the king, the quality of the king energy. And whenever analyzing any of these processes, global or individual, I always try to see the bigger picture. How when the challenges of life come in, what is it serving? And I often ask myself, okay, what are my emotions and thinking and actions committed to? And that's guides me all the time. And I certainly have a particular vision that for a long time, 40 years, I started to wake up and been going on and on, step by step, watching, responding to whatever comes before me. So let me switch into the king archetype. But before that, I want to see if I've missed anyone. Thank you, Bruno. You're very kind. I want to talk to you about something about where you live in France, because I'm considering visiting a girlfriend. And if you're close, maybe we can talk about meeting up. And then, of course, there's November. I spoke to Lorelei, so I'll be meeting you on the 12th in Brighton, that's for sure. Beta says that the Queen was an incredible woman, so dignified and strong, going through so much turmoil, yet never losing her fine pose. Much respect. That's what a Queen energy does. Oh no, live video has been paused. It should resume shortly. Drew, has it come back on? Anybody else? Are you all hearing me, seeing me? Is the video working? Francine, she did stand for her people. And I believe Charles will do that too. And in a different quality. Jeanette said, being an all-American girl, I didn't really follow the British monarchy, and yes, shame on me, because my great-grandparents were from the Great Britain. Well, watch The Crown. It's a good Netflix series. Denise said, apparently the crown jewels were secured to the coffin for safety, as the scepter fell off when it was George VI's funeral. Well, the other thing I heard about that was that the horses were pulling it then, I believe, and some of the horses went a bit weird, and that's why it fell off. So this time it's just men pulling it. And Tim says, I love the story about the Queen bumping into 2 American tourists in the hills close to Balmoral. If anyone hasn't heard it, then you should go and find it. It is on YouTube. It's so cute, so cute. And Stefan says he's not a royalist, but she committed herself to her role that she was born to. I've nothing but the greatest respect for her, and she was and will be remembered as a legend of her time, a fine lady. And Verpi says she's glad that Charles got his chance. He's still his time, I believe, having his parents' genes and the teaching constantly every day, working that way. Denise has come to Scotland before it gets too cold. I love Scotland. I want to do that one day. Yeah. Patricia said they showed a meeting with Brian May and the Queen, and he apologized for making so much noise on her rooftop. And then came Jimmy Page, and she said, are you also the guitarist? That was so sweet. Yeah, she was quite the lady. Thank you, Erica. I'm glad you can see it all. I'm not sure, Becky. I want him to abdicate too soon. And though I really like William and Kate, Charles has something to do for ecology, that he's got the strength to stand. and he worked a lot with Vanderpost, meditating and things. So he's done a lot of inner work that isn't necessarily spoke about or known, but I want him to have some time. Okay, so Denise, you changed from Firefox to Chrome. I do Firefox, so I don't know anything about Chrome. I'm not quite up on it like all you kids. Yeah, maybe I'm drawn to Scotland too. Well, you never know, Denise. I might take you up on that. I've been having this feeling after watching, I was mixing watching The Crown with watching the news and the funeral and everyone and everything over, gosh. And it was very moving. I have to say, there was times that I would just start to tear up. And I think that's to do with also working through the energetic shift of the energies and things on it, and the global appreciation and respect, and the parents passing over, the lost one. So well, Ali, one never knows God's plan when it comes to astrology and things. And whatever it is, we will deal with it and be together. So let me put on the king archetypal photos that I've put together and talk about their qualities. So a bit different than the queen energy, which is, as I said, is she stands within a center point and it spreads out and she watches the whole thing. The king energy comes more from 4 archetypes, which is basically the warrior, the magician, the lover, all in perfect harmony with the king energy as a man matures. And historically, he protected the realm that he was in. And of course, there's always negative tyrants and the wicked witch of the north for the queen. But the ideal is to stand for the higher aspect of the divine powers and reconciling the opposites, which we've been talking about with the masculine and the feminine, being the channel, the messenger for the divine element, so that everything that we create represents those higher qualities. And it's always the challenge, because it's hard going some days to hold that within all of our program and the chaos that's going around in the world sometimes. And I really admire people that try to hold that, and certainly the royal family have tried to do that in England. And as a masculine person powers up their energy, it gives such a fulfillment of their godlike potential. And there's a real challenge at the moment for the masculine person, particularly in the West, particularly in America. And Carl Jung wrote a lot about this, how to build the art of manliness and help, because to do that, you become a better man and you become a better father and a better human being, because one of the main qualities is to support people, give your energy, your power, you're honoring the other person, particularly with the men who have boys. It's like, instead of saying, get it together, boys, that's not going to do it. To come to them and say, well done, keep going, I believe in you, you can do it. That's the strength of the masculine father. And there's the masculine energy is a creative power as well. It seeks to not only create something by taking care of your own particular home, or if you're a real king, your realm, you're creating balance, and to inspire others to be creative is actually one of the wonderful qualities of the masculine archetype, the king archetype. They inspire and they create, and they know how to use their power to influence the world and help others to live a more balanced life. And that's part of the protection of what the king energy does. It doesn't use the power of dominating your realm, your family, or you, in order to gain something for themselves, though they will gain something. But it's more to do with the whole collective being empowered to be great. So it looks like you're all talking about Charles, and I'm going to return back to you and check out what you're all saying. So we'll go back to Allie. She says, I thought Charles' birth chart says he will never be king, or will only be king for a very short time. I hope not. Verby says that would be very nice. Francine, me too, no problems. Patricia says, doesn't it also remind us of our own parents? All the pain I felt when my dad died came up at a moment I saw the coffin leave Balmoral, I'm sure. And Burpee says, I don't believe a birth chart can predict the future, really. It can only tell the basis. Julie agrees. So, hang on. Burpee said Charles is a Scorpio, like you. I didn't know that. I don't know more about his birth chart. Stefan said, I believe Charles III has compassion, a vital component for his role as king. He may get controversial in his kingship, but I think he'll be a good king. The world needs leaders that aren't saying that things are made up about ecology and things, like some previous president used to say. But we're not going to talk politics today. My goodness. I haven't heard about that, Becky, that there is an Australian man who believes he is Charles and Camilla's firstborn. Well, I know a lot of people that say that Dave Gilmore is their father, and Roger Waters. So who's to say what is? And talking about Harry and Philip, it is a challenge for them. And I mean, if you look at what Princess Margaret went through, and even King Edward with Mrs. Simpson, in a way, Harry is standing for something that they stood for within the royal family. But I get the feeling that he really misses his family. And thank you, Erica. I like my glasses now, but I might have to get new ones because of my previous eye experience. I have to go in and check it out now that it's almost better. Verby said, yes, I've read about that man who seems to believe he is Charles and Camilla's child and that they gave him away when they were still young. Well, what do you know? We'll find out, won't we? True or false? The main thing I think with all of this is that we have to constantly come back to ourselves. Oh my goodness. Sorry. He's apparently taking Charles to court to get DNA tests done. Imagine if it is proved to be true. He will be the next in line for the throne. Never a dull moment. Goodness. But he hasn't had any training, and he isn't. I'm not going to judge him because I don't know what he's about. Hi, Donald. Are you okay? Welcome. Thank you, Bruno. To advertise my book, it might be having a comeback. At least in America, there's some people wanting to represent it. That's what I've heard, Denise, too, that we all have royal blood. Well, real life Game of Thrones. Yeah. So, people, shall we do our meditation now? And oh, so you haven't, Donald, had that procedure yet that you were telling me about. Well, make sure you tell us when it's going to be so I can focus on you at the time. All right, I'm going to get the image up. And before I start, last time we did a group healing for Verby. And I was thinking that maybe if someone would like to be put forward, we could give you a healing. Hi, Lino. We're about to start our weekly visualization. So if someone wants to put up their name, we can all focus on sending a healing to them. Well, I'm glad, Verby, that helped. And I've been sending healing to Francine's husband. And if there's anybody on this session that would like some healing, I'm going to wait a second for you to request it. And if not, we will just... So Denise would really like to appreciate some healing. Denise, can you tell me what your disharmony is that you're feeling right now? And Tim would like a healing as well. Okay, arthritis. Tim, can you tell me what your particular disharmony is? Because I'm not familiar with that, so we can work with it. So all of your fingers, Denise, are having a problem? It's a pleasure, Francine, to work with you. Allie says she just got out of the hospital a month ago and still not feeling right. Allie, did you have chemo? If I remember your message earlier on. And so I better write this down. Where's my pen? So we've got Tim, Denise, and Allie. Okay. And Allie. Allie, can you just let me know why you were in the hospital? No COVID and a bad reaction to medication. Okay. All right, so I think 3's okay for the moment. And we'll be giving ourselves a healing as well. Right, so let's put up the image. Hi, Appel. Welcome. We're just about to start our meditation healing visualization. Welcome, welcome. So Jeanette, I'll add you to the list as well. Okay, people, let's begin with finding a very still place, a comfortable chair or lying down. And we'll go into stillness and quiet. So let us close our eyes for the moment. And take the breath in, hold it, and release it. Breathe in, hold it, and release. And this time, take one hand and place it below your navel and place the other on your heart center. And breathe in and hold it and release. And breathe in, hold it and release. And breathe in and hold it and release. And slowly open your eyes and focus on the image before you. And feel the sunlight and the green and the rainbow colors of the light. And take that within and fill the entire body of who you are, from your head to your toes and into the earth, and bring the energy of the earth back into your body, back to your head and out your top chakra, and touch the light of the universe and integrate it with the colors on the image before you. And be still and quiet. And breathe in and hold the colors within and relax. And imagine a golden light in the shape of a bowl within, and take it to wherever you feel your disharmony. And let us take this wonderful bowl of light, golden light, into Jeanette's body and focus on repairing and healing where she is suffering within her breast cancer, and see her completely in revision and restored. Breathe in. Relax. Send the healing energy golden bowl to Jeanette, balancing, healing, restoring. And take the sign of the cross of light as a candle that goes down the front of her body, back up to her heart center, and across, making the shape of a cross. And then take this candle of light and surround her in a circle of protection. And be still. Visualize that you rinse your hands in salt water from the elbows down through your fingers and out. This time, let's focus on Tim. So let's take the golden bowl of light and allow it to touch his nervous system, and add a touch of blue, sapphire blue. and go from the top of his head in his brain, going down through the nervous system throughout his whole body. Slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. And once we've done that, let's take the golden ball and the blue and touch it, all of the muscles throughout his body, healing, relaxing, restoring. So breathe in and relax, release. Once again, take the image of the forest and the rainbow and fill his body with the golden orb surrounded with blue. And be still and quiet and relax. Once again, take the little candle and make the sign of the cross going down the front of the body, back to the heart center and across, and surround it with a circle of candle light for protection. And within that circle, fill it with the golden orb and the color of midnight blue. Come back to your own body and once again wash your hands in a bowl of salt water from the elbow down past your fingers. And realign to the stillness of the forest and the rainbow and the golden orb within yourself. May peace and harmony and love come forth. This time, imagine Denise before you. And fill her body with the spring green. Calming all the inflammation in her body, in her nerves, with blue, sapphire blue. Particularly surround her hands with the sapphire blue and the spring green. Visualize her fingers moving freely. The main thing about arthritis is inflammation throughout her body. So we'll want to imagine she's under a waterfall of crystal water light, purifying, stilling, washing away any irritation, inflammation. Change the waterfall to a spring green Now make it the golden orb color, gently washing through her body and surrounding her hands. Breathe in, hold it, and relax. Breathe in, hold it, and relax. Once again, light the candle and create a line of going down the front of her body, back to the heart center, and across in both directions, creating the sign of the cross, and surround her with the circle of light. And fill the circle with sapphire blue and pink, rose pink. Come back to your body. Once again, wash your hands in salt water from your elbows down to the end of your fingers. And see the woodland, forest, and rainbow throughout your own body. And breathe in, hold it, and relax. Breathe in the stillness and relax. Breathe in the stillness and relax. This time, have Ali be before you. And fill her body with the image of the forest and the rainbow. And take the golden orb and allow the color to cleanse and restore her liver, her kidneys, her pancreas, see her being washed by a waterfall, a gentle waterfall, cleansing the medication reaction throughout her body. And change the color of the waterfall to blue, spring sapphire blue. And let it calm any inflammation from the reaction, restoring her body, all her nervous system with the sapphire blue and the crystal water. This time add amethyst, the color of amethyst, throughout her body, giving her strength, restoring her energy. And breathe in and release. Breathe in the amethyst and surround her body, and also have it within. See the amethyst creating a circle of amethyst light around her, penetrating within her body. And take the candlelight again, going down the body, back up to the heart center and out in either direction, making a sign of a cross and a circle of light, placing the amethyst within the circle along with a midnight blue. And once again, come to you and wash your hands in salt water from the elbows down beyond your fingers. And come back to your own body and check if there's any blockages or clearing that needs to be done. And stand under a crystal waterfall of light and give it all to Mother Earth. And come back to your heart center. And be still as I read a poem. I thought I knew what love is. Then one day I saw crystal colors everywhere. Brighter and brighter, the air surrounded me with the light of heaven. My spirit was bathed in a waterfall of joy, nurtured, uplifted, and restored within its wonder. I heard the song of the great Father. My heart rejoiced within his fragrance. Now I dance in a meadow of gold and light, for I know more of what love is. Let's be still. Slowly open your eyes and come back to your room. Rejoin our stream tonight when you're ready. I think that was quite successful to do as a group healing. Well, Ali, when I put up the replay, you could re-listen to it. It'll probably be tomorrow. You're welcome, Yvonne. Thank you for being here. You're most welcome, Marianne. Be well, Francine and Gerard. And it's time for us to say goodnight. So thank you for coming. Thank you for joining in. You're welcome, Ali. So